Whoa, headache up there. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a brewery out of St. Louis, Missouri, and I've had a couple of their beers before when it comes to just trying out some of their other stouts and all that kind of stuff, but this is the first time I've actually had the opportunity to review one of their beers, so I'm pretty excited to try this one out. And today, we're going to be taking a look at one called Take 10. It's a Imperial Stout made with pretzels, chocolate sauce, caramel, and peanuts from Perennial Artisan Ales. And yeah, this definitely has my attention. They collabed with their friends over at Church Key. I believe that is another brewery near them. So yeah, I'm super excited. This also contains lactose and nuts, so keep that in mind. If you're going to buy this one, if you have a nut allergy, this might not be the one for you. But yeah, I'm super kind of excited about this one because the flavor profile definitely caught my attention just because pretzels, chocolate sauce, caramel, and peanuts sound fantastic in an Imperial Stout. I'm just going to say that. That sounds absolutely delicious. So I'm pretty excited to try this one out. It comes out to an 11.5% ABV, which, yeah, a nice higher ABV Imperial Stout to start off the week is definitely a good thing to do. Plus, from what I remember, this is definitely a little bit different than their original Take 10, just because their first Take 10 is the one they only brewed by themselves, what's different about that one. It's just an Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate, peanuts, and pretzels. The chocolate sauce, the caramel, and all that kind of stuff is not in there. But when they teamed up with Church Key, they kind of did another variant of this Take 10, which is the one where it's pretzels, chocolate sauce, caramel, and peanuts, which sound absolutely amazing. I'm just going to say it. That sounds absolutely fantastic. So, without further ado, I think it's time for us to crack this thing open and see what this thing's like on the nose. I'm expecting a little bit of booziness to it, due to it being at 11.5. You're definitely going to get some booziness to this. With there being actual peanuts in this thing, I'm going to be really surprised if I don't see a film on the top of the beer after I pour it, just because when you add peanuts to a beer, the natural oils that come out of the peanuts are going to usually leave kind of like a film on the top of the beer, which is normal. I'm hoping there's going to be a nice kind of balance between chocolate, pretzel, caramel, and peanuts. I'm wondering how that pretzel and the peanuts are going to kind of work together. Maybe it's going to add maybe a little bit of a dryness to it. I don't know, just because sometimes when I think of peanuts, I think of adding a little bit of dry notes to it, depending if it's just peanut butter or peanuts themselves. So, yeah, the caramel and the chocolate sauce are going to add sweetness. With it, like I said, expecting a little bit of booziness with this as well. But I'm excited, so time for us to crack this thing open and see what this thing's like on the nose. Come on. So let's see what we get on the nose with this guy. Definitely a lot more mellow on the nose than I thought. I'm assuming, yeah, the Reese's Take 5s. Yeah, I'm definitely assuming, since they're calling it Take 10, kind of their little play on it. But yeah, surprisingly, it's mellow on the nose. Not really getting much on the nose. It might be my sinuses being clogged with. I think I can breathe out my nose today. Getting a little bit of booziness, a little bit of chocolate. But yeah, not really getting much else coming from it. Only getting a little bit of chocolate on the nose. It's definitely lighter on the nose than I expected. So I'm going to be drinking this guy out of my untapped tulip glass this afternoon. Let's see how thick this thing pours. I'm going to see if it's heavier. Maybe if it's... I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little bit more syrupy. I'm not sure if there's really going to be much effervescence to it. Let's pour this guy and see what this thing's all about. Oh yeah. This is dark. Not really much head going in it at all. And yeah, that just... this looks delicious. Really, really barely any head to this at all. Pouring super, super thick. And yeah, look at that. As black as my soul. Just the smallest amount of head you can imagine on beer. Definitely still getting a little bit of that. Still kind of lighter on the nose. The aromatics to it are definitely a little bit surprising. I'm a little surprised how light on the nose it is. But yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. Definitely getting the chocolate coming through a little bit. But overall, yeah, it smells great. So let's try this thing out and see what this thing's all about. So, cheers everybody. Happy Monday. Okay. Definitely really, really syrupy. Coats the mouth like I would expect. Definitely has a booziness to it, that's for damn sure. Getting a little bit of the chocolate sauce up front. There's definitely some lingering flavors that I'm trying to identify what the hell those are. Maybe I'm trying to find if I can get the pretzel out of it. I mean, it's difficult to get that pretzel out of it, just because I feel like with the more predominant flavors of like chocolate and caramel being in there, and the pretzel kind of being the breadier kind of notes, probably adding to a breadiness to it, I'm not getting a full like on pretzel flavor with this. I mean, now that I have it linger on the tongue a little bit, it kind of gives me the aftertaste of eating like a chocolate covered pretzel almost. Not getting really much of the peanuts by themselves. Chocolate sauce and the caramel is definitely adding sweetness. But I think most of what I'm getting is just the pretzel's adding breadiness to it. So overall, has a nice amount of sweetness, not dry. I'm surprised that there's not really much of a film on the top. I mean, yeah, there's not really much of a film on the top of this at all from the peanuts. So maybe it depends on the peanuts you use when it comes to if there's going to be a film on the top of the beer. You could definitely taste the booziness in this once. Really, really nice, but it's not overly boozy. Definitely just below that, being on that overly boozy kind of realm. It's just like on that part to where it's tolerable for me. But overall, yeah, this is pretty damn delicious. It's definitely a solid one. I didn't know what to expect when it came to this one. So, all the things when it comes to oiliness, not really getting that. So, not really many of the peanut oils came through. Chocolate is very, very nice in there. Smooth. I wouldn't say it's mellow on flavor. There's just a lot going on to where I don't think it's a little bit difficult to identify the singular flavors in this, just because there's so much going on in it. And I'm able to identify the chocolate. I'm able to get a little bit of the caramel coming through. That's just adding sweetness. But like I said, the only way I'm getting the pretzel and maybe the peanuts in there is it kind of comes in at the back end, to where you get that slight like pretzel aftertaste of like breadiness to it. But overall, it's cohesive when it comes to flavors pretty damn well, and it's just a solid Imperial Stout. There's really nothing to me that's reinventing the wheel with this one, but it's just still a very, very delicious Imperial Stout. So let's look here on Untapped, and of course we're looking at the Take 10 with the blue label, so keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for the 11.5% if you're looking to check this one in, just because they have their original Take 10, but then they have the Take 10 they did with Church Key as well. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're checking in the right one. And I'm actually see if there's, let's see, in season, what do we have that's coming through right now? It doesn't really show me on their website what's on tap at the moment. Oh, let's see what they have for beer to go. Let's see. That's a good option. So if you want beer to go, let's see if you can get your hands on this one. Let's see, featured items, shirts. Okay, it doesn't show anything that's available to go right now. So I'm not even sure if this is available at the tap room at the moment, which is, that's okay. Let's check the tasting room and see. Okay, let's see if the Take 10 is on here. Beer to go. Let's see. It doesn't look like this one is available right now, but it might be coming back in rotation. We're just starting to get out of kind of the stout season coming. We're starting to get into more of maybe like some gozes, fruited gozes. Definitely having some IPAs coming back in rotation, but you're starting to get into the warmer months, so some stouts may be still available this time of year out, but a lot of breweries are going to be rotating out of their stouts, trying to get a little bit more bright and vibrant flavor beers coming in. So let's look back here over here to Untapped, and of course Untapped does a really cool thing to when you're looking at a beer you're drinking or something like that. They show similar beers to what they would suggest to be kind of in the same wheelhouse as this and all that kind of stuff. And funny thing is, 3 of the beers on the similar beers list are other Perennial Artisan Ales ones, and 2 of them I've heard pretty good things about when it comes to being their from Perennial. 2 of these is like their namesake stout. So have you ever heard of the Abraxas from Perennial? And then they have the Barrel Aged Abraxas, and then they have the Sump, which is a 2022 variant of their Sump Costa Rica, which is like a double coffee stout. That's an 11.5. But there's 2 right here that definitely are kept catching my attention. One from the brewery called the Black Tuesday Blueberry Pancake. Definitely not really going to suggest that, just because you're not really getting any maple kind of pancakey kind of flavors in this. It might be breadiness, but you're not going to get really similar blueberry notes. You're not going to get pancakey notes. But there's one here that I think might take the cake for being the most similar on this guy. And this is from River Styx Brewing, which is out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. So if you're up in the kind of the East Coast area, you might be able to get your hands on this one. And this one is called PB Eros, which is 11% and notes of chocolate, cream conditions on Oreos, and Reese's peanut butter cups. So might give you similar peanut butter, like the peanuts and the peanut butter might give you similar profiles. It's just overall, I think that one is going to be the most similar when it comes to a little bit of a decadence, a little bit of more of a sweetness. Even though I think the Black Tuesday may have a little bit more sweetness than the PB Eros, but I think this PB Eros is probably going to be the closest one to this on this similar beers list when it comes to being able to find something similar. Looking at where other verified locations are, a lot of these are in Holland, Dublin. So being able to see this stuff over in like the UK and all that kind of stuff is really, really nice. So being able to get this overseas in Europe is actually a really cool thing to see. I always really enjoy seeing breweries be able to get their stuff from the US over to other countries so other people can experience what we're brewing over here. But yeah, it's pretty damn delicious. Like I said before, it's nothing like reinventing the wheel. It's like I said, with that, there's so much going on in this one. It's really difficult to kind of identify singular flavors. But overall, the cohesive flavors that I'm getting from this one are really damn solid. Really, really nice. Getting a little bit slights and notes of like coffee at the end too. Getting like a coffee bitterness that kind of lingers the more I drink it. But overall, yeah, very, very solid beer. So let's kind of take a look over here and what do they show as a description for this one on Untappd. Of course, it's pretty much the same thing that I read off the can. It's an Imperial Stout with pretzels, chocolate sauce, caramel, and peanuts. And let's see, like I said, it's 11.5%, so would not consider this sessionable whatsoever. You're going to be having one or two of these, and you're probably not going to want to drive, that's for damn sure. And with over 1,008 rating, this one has an average rating of 4.01 out of 5, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. Pretty good. And looking here, let's see if anybody on my friends list checked this one in. Let's see. My father did, and he said for 11.5%, this tastes much boozier than the 17% I just finished drinking, but is still very good. So, yeah, that was one of the days where he had a higher percentage. He drank this back in September, and he just got, I'm trying to remember what 17% he probably just finished. Probably one of the times fives that I was drinking, and the brewery kind of went out of business, so that's probably what I'm thinking he drank before this and then got his hands on the Take 10. So, yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5, which is pretty good. I don't think there's anybody else on my friends list who checked this one in. Doesn't look like it. But let's look over here on the global rating. Let's see what people had to say. So this guy gave it a 4.5, saying boozy, but it was aged some, and then he also said a really good stout. So, yeah, I agree. This is definitely a really, really solid stout. There's no really off-putting flavors to me on this one. All the flavors seem to work together. There's nothing that's doesn't taste well when it comes to how the flavors are hitting your palate, something that doesn't work. I would say everything in there is cohesive when it comes to the flavors you're getting. All of it's just, it works. It definitely works. It's not like you're able to identify the chocolate sauce, the pretzel, the peanuts, the caramel, all of those individual flavors. You're not able to identify each and every one of those. A lot of the times you're just getting a really, really nice cohesive flavor coming through with that slight kind of pretzel breadiness that kind of lingers, and then you kind of get that little bitter coffee kind of note at the end. But let's see what else we got here. We got another 4.25, and then this guy checked it in, didn't give it a rating, but he purchased it at the beer cellar in Glen Ellen, Illinois. So that's actually really cool, being able to find this stuff in Illinois. That's pretty nice. So let's see, another 4 out of 5, purchased at the beer cellar in Glen Ellen. He said cocoa, roast, caramel, vanilla nose, cocoa roast, caramel nuts, light vanilla, sweet but not too cloying, alcohol present, slightly touch of salinity in the finish. Okay, so maybe the salinity might be from for the peanuts. I don't know. I don't really get much salinity when it comes to it right now, but he's saying he gets it on the finish. But let's see what else here. We got another 4 out of 5, purchased at the craft beer cellar, which is another place around St. Louis in Clayton. And let's see what else we got. Another 4 out of 5. This guy gave it a 1.75, saying all I taste is coffee, which I do not agree with this one whatsoever. I definitely taste more of the different flavors in here. There's, like I said, the more of the coffee flavors that I'm getting is at that very, very end, where you just kind of get that bitter, roasted kind of note at the end. It could be from the roasted malts that they used in there. What else? Let's see. This guy gave it a 4.5, saying loves the nuttiness, and he purchased this one at the craft beer cellar in Glen Ellen. Let's do 2 more. So this guy gave it a 4. Then the final one we're going to look at here gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So, yeah, overall, pretty good ratings. Some really good ones. Some that were in the not-so-good ones. But overall, average when it comes to stuff I looked at was pretty good. So, with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on our end. So, I already poured the rest of it in the glass. So, let's take a look at the can art. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. They kind of just took their Take 10 from the original one. It kind of had more of brown colors to it, so it's like a little bit of tan, a little bit of brown on the can art for the original Take 10, and then they, with their collaboration with Church Key, they made it blue. Kind of used a little bit of the kind of golden, almost pretzel kind of colors. So you got the pretzels around there, you got the bottle of chocolate sauce, you got the peanuts. I'm trying to see if I can find the caramel on there. Let's see what the hell. I don't see where they put the caramel, which is surprising. All you're seeing is the peanuts, individual peanuts, but it may be one of the other bottles when it comes to the sauce, or maybe those, I don't know if those are the individual nuts or not, but yeah, the can art's nice. It's not really something that is totally eye-catching. I really like when they put the ingredients on the can, kind of just showing you what to expect and all that stuff. Plus the warning of telling you that they actually use peanuts and lactose in this one. So that's a really, really nice thing for people who have either are lactose intolerant or have nut allergies as well. But yeah, can art is simple. It's still kind of something that is cool to look at, but it's nothing that totally would catch my attention when it comes to seeing this in a liquor store or bottle shop. So with that being said, I'll give this a solid 3 out of 5. Nothing too crazy going on with this one, but overall it's still really clean, classy, and kind of puts the point across to what to expect with this kind of style of beer. So that being said, let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at Perennial Artisan Ales, would I get another one? To be honest, I'd probably go for the Abraxas before this, and I haven't even had the Abraxas. I've had some of their other stouts that are pretty decadent, like some more of their cake stouts and all that kind of stuff. But this one is still really solid, but I'd probably still just prefer having one of these in the flight glass, and then maybe if I wanted, I could definitely drink another one of these for sure, but it wouldn't be like a go-to of, oh, I need to get another glass of this before I leave. It's good enough to where I'm happy with a flight glass of it, and if I chose to get another glass of it, sure, but it wouldn't be a go-to kind of thing for me. But overall, yeah, it's still a really, really solid beer. So with that being said, I think my final rating on this guy, I'm going to give it a solid 7.25, maybe a straight 7 out of this one. I'm enjoying it, but it's, like I said, nothing groundbreaking. Would have liked to taste a little bit more of the individual flavors in there instead of a little bit of all the cohesiveness to just everything at once. I would definitely like to break it down a little bit more, getting like some of the caramel in the front, maybe the peanuts in the middle, and kind of getting that kind of chocolate sauce at the end. I don't know, but I know there's ways to layer it in to where you can get stuff going like that. But overall, yeah, it's still a really, really solid beer. But like I said, it's not a go-to for me, and it's just something that I won't go out of my way to make sure I have this down my gullet at all times kind of thing. It's still really good. I'm glad I drank it, but overall, yeah, it is what it is. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Last thing we got here, of course, if you want to possibly see some stuff showing up near you from Perennial Artisan Ales, of course, if you're in the Illinois area, you can get yourself over to the beer cellar. I think, what's it called? In Glen Ellen. Let's see. Yeah, the beer cellar in Glen Ellen. You might be able to find some stuff from Perennial over there. Or if you're not in the state and you want to possibly see if your local liquor store or bottle shop can carry this stuff, talk to the person that does the buying at your bottle shop. See if they can get anything for Perennial Artisan Ales. They'll talk to the distributors, then possibly the distributors will check and see if they can possibly get it in. Because if they're going to possibly get in new stuff, then they're always going to be for it, just because rotating stock and new things brings in new customers and all that kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Or you could do what I did and you can go on to Tavour, which I talk so many times about. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with talking about them, but yeah, they're a fantastic product they make over there. It's a beer delivery service. I just got a delivery in today from them. So if you want to get on Tavour, link to their websites down in the description below. It'll lead you to the App Store to download the app either on Apple or iPhone, like Android or iPhone. And you just create your account, just because they deliver to more of suburban areas most likely, and some states, depending on what their laws are like with delivering alcohol. So you just got to create your account, and they'll let you know right away when you put in your zip code when you're creating your account if they can ship to you or not. Plus, you'll see Perennial show up there every once in a while, plus thousands of other beers that are fantastic coming from Tavour as well. So, last thing we got to say here before we get the hell out of here is, if you're a fan of social media and you like craft beer, if you're on Facebook and you're a craft beer drinker, there's one place that you need to get yourself over to, and you hear me talk about it every day when I'm on doing these things, but you need to get yourself over to Untappd. It's a fantastic platform. You can check in beers, get badges. I call it Facebook for beer drinkers just because you can see what people are drinking in your area. You can see what the global trending beers are near you, or you can see what the local trending beers are near you as well. So it's just a really, really fun platform. You can see what your friends are drinking, all that kind of stuff. So whenever I go on there, I can see what Kentucky, Duchess, Ian's drinking, Face Meat's drinking, Lee, Not the Real Gerard Butler, Logan, the Typhon, Sean, and Lizzie. So there's a bunch of us on Untappd just checking in beers and having a good time, and it's overall an absolutely fantastic platform. If you haven't shot me a friend request and you're on Untappd already, do yourself a favor. Go down to the link in the description Add me as a friend. I want to see what people are drinking. I want more friends on Untappd, so when I do check-ins, I can tag more people and all that kind of stuff. It's just a really, really fun time. So, with that being said, that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So, thank you everybody in chat again for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to end this like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.